G'day crew, you've landed on the 3CIR podcast where we turn service into strength and experience into opportunity. I'm Joel, mates call me Slate, ex-army and still allergic to idle hands.
And I'm Ryan, but everyone calls me Jury, also ex-military, now doing my best to turn coffee into career advice. Welcome in.
If you're new here, 3CIR was founded by veterans for veterans and our emergency services family, and honestly, anyone ready for their next chapter. We're guided by courage, commitment, camaraderie, integrity, and respect. That's not marketing fluff. It's the spine of how we work, why we show up, and how we help you move from uniform to civilian success without losing your identity on the way.
Exactly. We do it through recognition of prior learning, RPL, and online qualifications that fit real life. No ivory towers, no lectures for the sake of it. We map what you've already done. Leadership, logistics, comms, safety, into nationally recognised quals that make hiring managers go, okay, say less.
Today we've got something that feels like a mission briefing and a green light opportunity rolled into one. WithYouWithMe has partnered with Tech2 to open up, get this, more than 400 roles for veterans on the national broadband network rollout. That's not just a job board, that's a nation building project with your name all over it.
It's big and it's practical. We've talked a lot on this show about turning purpose into paychecks, while building the backbone of Australia's digital infrastructure. That's purpose you can touch. And from what we're seeing, this pathway has paid training, business skills, and options to either be your own boss or go employee. We're going to break down how to pick what's right for you.
We'll also get into how RPL from us at 3CIR can shorten your runway. If you've ever managed a team on a remote task, run a site safety brief, or wrangled comms gear in the heat, you're already closer to this field than you think. Stick around because later we'll map some real-life service roles to qualifications and then straight to these jobs.
And before we wrap, I want to open a loop for next episode because it's crucial. PTSD treatment must get physical. Experts are saying it, and we're going to pull it apart with care and honesty. But that's next time. Right now, Tech2, WithYouWithMe, and the 400 door opportunity. Slate, set the scene. Set?
All right, WithYouWithMe, you've probably heard the name. They're the crew helping veterans break into tech careers with tailored skills training. Now they've teamed up with Tech2 Group, or Tech2, a legit Australian technology company. Tech2's been around since 1998, started by a fellow veteran, which I love. In 2014, ZiggyNet partially acquired them, and Tech2's been delivering services across the NBN to more than 8 million homes and businesses.
8 million. That's not a pilot project, that's the whole map, and the partnership isn't just pamphlet deep. WithYouWithMe has set up the Tech2 Veteran Pathway. It's a pipeline that takes veterans from, I might be interested to, I'm working, in about 12 weeks of paid traineeship with a small business course baked in.
Paid training? Woke up, yeah, I want to underline that because so many transition programs ask you to take a pay hit up front. This one pays you while you skill up. The idea is you do the 12 weeks, then you've got two tracks. One, become a subcontractor with your own ABN and potentially earn up to 90 grand a year. Two, if contracting's not your vibe, you can opt to be an employee. No prior experience required. Don't have a tech background in defense? Doesn't matter. All ranks, all services.
And it's at no cost to the veteran. That's huge. They're basically saying, bring your discipline and your reliability. We'll teach you the specifics. If you're in or near Sydney, Melbourne, regional Victoria, the Gold Coast, or Perth, there are urgent roles right now. And the crazy thing is they expect to exceed those initial 400 as the months go on.
You know what that means. The early movers can pick their patch, build their team, and set the standard. I can already hear some of you muttering, yeah, but I've never climbed a pole or crimped a cable. Right, but you've briefed operations, followed safety procedures, worked to a standard, and talked to people under pressure. That's the core. The technical bits are trainable in weeks.
Let me jump on that because it's the bit I love. We've both seen people underestimate how transferable their experience is. If you ran comms for a platoon or you were the go-to for radios in a squadron, bless you, you've already got an ear for signal flow, troubleshooting, and SOPs. If you were logistics, you understand routing, scheduling, customer time windows, and how to keep trucks, kits, or crews moving. If you were a section commander, leadership is second nature. Those are the things that make you reliable in the field. Tech2 can teach you how to use their tools. They can't teach attitude in 12 weeks.
And this is where 3CIR comes in. Recognition of prior learning can fast-track your credibility. For example, we can assess your experience against qualifications like Certificate FORV in Telecommunications Network Engineering, or Wireless, or even WHS. Maybe a Certificate IV or Diploma in Leadership and Management. Project management quals if you're looking to coordinate crews or schedule works. Those aren't just letters on a doc, they are the keys that open bigger gates.
Picture this. You enroll in the With You With Me pathway, knock over the traineeship, and at the same time you jump on an RPL assessment with us. You walk away not just job ready, but with a recognised qualification that says you're more than capable. Suddenly you're not just a technician, you're a safety lead, or a team lead, or the one they tap to interface with local councils and customers because you can speak both tech and plain English.
Let's talk contracting versus employee, because that's a big decision. As a subcontractor, you're an independent operator, usually with an ABN. The upside? Flexibility, control of your schedule, potentially higher earnings, that up to 90 grand figure they've quoted. You're building a business, and they actually support that with a small business course during the traineeship. That's rare and smart.
The flip side, you wear the grown-up pants. You sort your tax, super, insurance, maybe invest in a ute or tools. Though often there are equipment hire or lease options, ask the crew for details. You're choosing your workload. For the right person, that's freedom. For someone who wants a regular paycheck and not think about BAS statements, the employee option is the go. There's no shame in either. It's about fit.
Exactly. And if you're wondering, can I do both over the span of a career? Start as a subcontractor, build reps, then jump to employee, or vice versa? Absolutely. The cool thing about joining a rollout with a big footprint is the mobility. Sydney this month, maybe you want to shift toward the Gold Coast next year. There's a national scale pipeline here.
Before we go any further, quick myth busting. You do not need a tech degree. You do not need to be under 30. You do not need to have done signals in the ADF. If you've got the reliability to rock up on time, follow a checklist, and learn new code of practice details, you're in the game. And women in defense, please, this field needs you. Bring that calm under pressure. Customers respond to professionals, full stop.
Let's do a day in the life so folks can sense it. You start your morning with a job schedule on your tablet. First job is a brownfield NBN upgrade in a suburban home. You check your PPE, confirm your ladder safety, do a site assessment. You brief the customer on what you're doing. You test the signal strength, run or tidy cable, terminate connections, update the job notes with photos, and ensure the modem is provisioned. You leave the site cleaner than you found it. Then straight to a small business in an industrial park where the handover includes making sure their EFT POS and POS systems are online. In between, you get a call from dispatch about a customer availability shift. You roll with it. Sound familiar?
It's an op order. Recon, execute, document, redeploy. And the human piece matters. You meet older Australians, small business owners, new families. You're the face of a big project, so the smile and the quick explanation go a long way. Every time I've watched veterans step into this, they crush it because they treat every task like a standard operation with a human on the end of it.
Now, where RPL amplifies this is in moving beyond the entry. If you can show a Cert IV in WHS, you're well placed to become the go-to for safety audits and toolbox talks on site. If you can stack a diploma of project management, you're suddenly viable for scheduling teams across a region. If you've got leadership and management recognized, Tech2 sees you as someone who can mentor new trainees coming up the pathway.
And we've got resources to help you prep that transition. On our YouTube, you'll find quick hits on leadership, HR, work health and safety, security, business, marketing, government, project management. Just search 3CIR and those topics. They're not 50-minute lectures. They're targeted. Watch one on your commute. Apply it in the field that ARVO. You know what I mean?
Let's run a quick checklist for anyone listening and thinking, maybe this is me. 1. Location. Are you near Sydney, Melbourne, Regional Vic, Gold Coast or Perth, or willing to get there? 2. Appetite. Prefer stability as an employee or want to test the waters as a subcontractor with their small business course. 3. Readiness. Can you commit to 12 weeks paid training? 4. Paper. Do you want to bundle RPL with 3CIR to add a recognized qualification? 5. Values. Do you like the idea of working on a project that upgrades the country, one home or business at a time?
And 6, don't forget this one, community. The Tech2 pathway is designed by people who understand veterans, With You With Me has done this with cyber, data, other fields. They've learned how to translate your CV to civilian speak. They'll coach you on interviews and help you fit the role to your strengths. Already you're starting ahead of the pack.
Small detour because I can hear a few of you asking about money and tools. On subcontracting, the 90 grand figure is an up to number. It'll depend on how much work you take on and your efficiency. The business training is there to help you price jobs, manage your time, and be profitable. Don't skip it. Also, insurance, public liability, and maybe professional indemnity, ask the pathway coaches what's standard. On the employee side, you're likely getting a package with tools provided or allowances. Again, confirm specifics with Tech2 and With You With Me. Due diligence is part of professionalism.
Speaking of professionalism, a quick word on WHS. If you've ever done a morning safety brief, you know this stuff is non-negotiable. Ladders, confined spaces, electrical awareness, these are all areas you'll be trained in. If you've got WHS quals already, shout it from the rooftops. If you don't, it's a perfect RPL candidate because the habits are already in your bones.
Another angle, time with family. This fieldwork often runs on daytime schedules, sometimes early starts, sometimes windows for customer access, but compared to shift rotations we did in service or call-outs in emergency services, the rhythm can be kinder. You'll finish a day and actually know what the next one roughly looks like. That's sanity.
And physically, it's active without being a beatdown. You're moving, climbing, lifting within safe limits. For a lot of us, getting back into a job where your body is engaged is medicine. Teasing next week just a touch. There's a growing body of evidence that getting physical literally helps with trauma recovery. We'll dig into that properly next episode. For now, just clock that this kind of role isn't stuck at a desk all day, and that can be a lifesaver.
I want to spotlight the origin story for a sec. Tech2 was founded by a veteran in 1998. That matters. There's a language match. They know our strengths and our blind spots, and they've been scaled and partly acquired by a major player like Net, which means they've got systems, safety nets, and standards. It's a rare combo, entrepreneurial heart with big company backbone.
Let's also talk about growth. If you start on the tools and realize you enjoy fault finding, you can head deeper into diagnostics. If you find you're a people person and love smoothing the customer experience, you can move toward team lead or site coordination. If planning and scheduling scratch your itch, project roles open up. Every rung you climb, RPL and targeted quals from 3CIR can help you formalize it and make the jump cleaner.
Got a story in my head. A mate of mine, infantry background, zero formal tech, anything. He did a similar pathway, learned the ropes in a quarter, and by month 6 he was the unofficial go-to for tricky installs because he kept notes, asked questions, and treated every callback as a puzzle to solve. At the 12-month mark, he knocked over an RPL assessment with us, picked up a Cert I4, and slid into a role coordinating 4 field teams. Same guy, same work ethic. But now the paper matched the performance and the opportunities multiplied.
Paper follows performance. That's the formula I wish someone told me earlier. And listen, if you've got leadership experience but struggle to put it on a civilian resume, we can help. Translate section-level leadership into words that corporate Australia understands. Team leadership, resource planning, stakeholder communication, risk assessment, continuous improvement. Then when you interview for Tech2 or any employer, you're not speaking 2 languages at once. You're fluent in theirs.
Let's do a rapid fire on what you'd actually learn in the 12-week traineeship based on what we've seen in similar programs: safety frameworks, customer comms, basic networking, running and terminating cables, using diagnostic tools, reading plans, documenting work in digital systems, and the business course, invoicing basics, tax and superliteracy, scheduling, customer service, quality control. It's doable. 12 weeks sounds fast until you realize your service background accelerates it.
And it's paid. Can't say it enough. You're not choosing between the mortgage and the training. You're earning while learning at no cost to you. That opens the door to folks who might have written off retraining because the timing never lined up.
Some practical next steps. If any of this is ringing your bell, register your interest for the Tech2 Veteran Pathway via WithYouWithMe. We'll drop the link in our notes, but a quick search will get you there. You'll get contacted by their team, they'll assess your fit, and you can ask all the what-ifs, like how far you might need to travel, whether tools are included, and what the exact pay structure is for your region. Sorry.
At the same time, jump onto 3CIR and start an RPL conversation. It's not a commitment, it's a discovery. We'll look at your service record, your roles, courses, and we'll map them to quals. You might be closer than you think. And if there's a small gap, we plug it with targeted units, not a whole year of study.
For those who like to prep before a call, grab our videos. Search 3CIR on YouTube for short primers on leadership, HR, WHS, security, business, marketing, government, project management. Watch one tonight, take one insight into tomorrow's conversation with the recruiter. It shows you're switched on and thinking about the broader picture.
Let's handle some listener questions we get all the time, even though you haven't asked them yet. What if I've got an injury? Be upfront. There are roles and accommodations, and not every job involves climbing. There's planning, scheduling, customer support, and supervision. What if I'm older? Great, bring the maturity. Customers love a steady hand and a friendly face. What if I've been out of service for years? Doesn't matter. If the values are still there, courage, commitment, camaraderie, integrity, respect, you'll fit the culture.
What about veterans from emergency services? You're absolutely in scope. Fire, AMBOS, police, SES. If you've worked with procedure, risk, and the public, you're strong candidates. This pathway actively welcomes you.
Another one? What about career ceiling? The ceiling's as high as your curiosity. Start on installs, move to complex diagnostics, then start training cohorts, then take a regional planning role, then a national quality assurance role. Stack that with RPL'd quals and new units in data, networking, or project governance, and you're climbing ladders in two directions.
A quick compare and contrast for the decision makers in the car right now. If you're the kind of person who gets energy from variety, likes driving around, being hands-on, solving small puzzles each day, hates sitting still, and wants a clear goal at the end of every job, this is your home turf. If you prefer long-term project cycles and sitting in the planning tent, still a place for you, but you might angle yourself into project support roles sooner. Either way, the pathway is an entry ramp, not the only road.
We should talk culture before we close this loop. When you walk into Tech 2 via WithYouWithMe, you're walking into a veteran-aware environment. That means straightforward feedback, a focus on performance, and a community that gets the banter and the intensity but keeps it professional. You won't be the only one with a service story, and that's a relief.
Alright, I want to do something we've done in past episodes, the 60-second pitch you can give a recruiter. Ready? You're going to adapt this, but here's a template. I'm a former Army corporal with 6 years of team leadership in high-tempo environments. I've managed safety briefs, equipment checks, and tight timelines. I'm reliable, I communicate clearly with customers and teammates, and I enjoy hands-on work. I'm completing the WithYouWithMe Tech 2 traineeship and working with 3CIR on RPL for WHS and leadership. I'm keen to start as a field tech and grow into team lead within a year. That's it. Clean, confident, credible.
Steal that. Swap Army for Navy, Air Force, AMBOS, whatever your story is, and replace the specifics with yours. Oh, and smile when you say it. You're not asking for charity. You're bringing value to a nation-building project.
We didn't talk about one more practical, the customer conversation. A lot of veterans think they need to be super technical in their language. You don't. You need to be clear. Try this script in the field. Hi, I'm with Tech 2, here to upgrade your NBN service. I'll start with a quick site assessment, then I'll walk you through what I'm doing as I go. At the end, I'll test your connection and make sure your devices are online. Any questions before I start? That's a 1-minute trust builder.
And document your work like you document a patrol. Photos, notes, what you changed, what you tested. You're protecting yourself and you're feeding the system with good data, which means fewer callbacks and more time for you to get to the next job. The veterans I see excel treat those digital forms like their accountability. Digital.
Quick coffee refill moment, figuratively, because we're about to tee up our teaser for next episode. But first, if the Tech 2 veteran pathway sounds like your next move, register your details. It's simple. Someone from WithYouWithMe will reach out and talk you through the steps. No pressure. And give us a bell at 3CIR to start your RPL assessment so your experience is recognized from day one.
Final thought on today's theme. People talk about transition like it's a cliff. It's not, it's a bridge. Programs like this are scaffolding. You've already built most of the planks through years of service. The traineeship, the RPL, the mentorship, that's the handrail that keeps you upright while you cross.
And when you do cross, you're not leaving your past behind. You're carrying it forward in a way that pays the bills and feeds the soul. There's pride in installing a service that helps a kid do their homework, a nurse log into a telehealth consult, or a small business run their point of sale. That's tangible impact.
All right, let's plant the flag for what's next on the show. We're stepping into a topic that's overdue for straight talk. PTSD treatment must get physical. Experts are pushing for body-based therapies, movement, breath, biofeedback to sit alongside the talk therapy. We're going to bring in voices who've lived it and clinicians who can explain the why. If you've ever felt stuck between your mind and your body, this one's for you.
And if today's episode got you thinking about the physical side of work as part of your wellness, even better. There's a connection there we can't ignore. Stack purpose, movement, and community, and you've got a sturdy platform for recovery and growth.
While you're waiting for that episode, hit up our 3CIR videos. Leadership if you're eyeing a team lead role, WHS if you want to be the safety brain on site, HR if you're prepping for hiring and mentoring, security, business, marketing, government, project management, all there. Pick one, watch it, and bring a takeaway into your day.
If you take nothing else from this chat, take this. You are employable today. Your experience is valuable today. And there are employers building pathways that respect that value. The Tech2 and WithYouWithMe partnership is one of them. 3CIR stands ready to back you with RPL and learning that fits your life.
We'll keep you posted as more roles open up beyond the initial 400. Word is, this pipeline's only getting bigger. If you jump in, tell us how you go. We'll share some of your stories here because that's how community works. One person's steps and the rest see it's doable.
All right, crew. Grab the links in the notes, register if it speaks to you, and line up your RPL chat with us. Next time we get physical. You know what I mean?
Be kind to yourself, move your body, and keep an eye on the horizon. Opportunities out there, and so are we.
We'll see you out there.